to find and win more government business. Is your team ready for a game changer? Go to deltec.com to learn more and get a free trial of GovWin IQ. That's deltec.com to win more business today.
After the Monday night loss in KC and the slew of injuries, the bye week came at the right time.
Take advantage of the time we rested and got recharged, and we're ready to go now.
Today, Kyle Shanahan brings an 0-5 squad for his return to D.C.
A lot of first-rounders there on defense, a lot of skill on defense. Offensively, they have a lot of speed, a nice offensive line. So it's a competitive football team, and if you take anybody for granted in this league, you're an idiot. That won't happen here.
The Skins need to regain momentum after the Week 4 letdown, because after today, things really start to heat up.
Play action fake, Kirk down the right corner. It is up, and it is a touchdown! Terrell Pryor in the end zone, and the Redskins strike first.
It's time to get it done and jump out front and start digging for gold.
It's out! That's all I need to say!
Niners. Skins. Now, countdown to kickoff on the official Washington Redskins pregame show, brought to you by Coke Industries. ChallengeAccepted.com. Here's Larry Michael.
Welcome to the Countdown to Kickoff show here at FedEx Field. Kickoff a little more than an hour away. Larry Michael, the Hall of Famer Sonny Jurgensen, Chris Cooley, Doc Walker, and John Riggins will be joining us shortly as he makes his way from the Bud Light Pavilion up to the broadcast booth on a day where they got the weather report wrong. Sonny, they said 85. And you're bundled up like it's 60 degrees outside.
I think it is 60 degrees.
We missed you last week, Sonny, or
Thank
2
you.
weeks ago.
Well,
And
y'all almost pulled one out.
Almost pulled it out. And Chris, what worries you about this game here today? I don't think the Redskins would overlook this team because of all the background stories that are going on here for this game. But what concerns you about this game?
Nothing really concerns me about this game. They're an NFL team. They have NFL players. I just think they have less overall NFL talent than most teams in the league right now in terms of roster depth. And Jay has talked about them, the 49ers, having a good defense. Now, they aren't going to play Reuben Foster today. He's on the inactive list. They cut Navarro Bowman. Couldn't trade him. They get Eric Reed back. There are some good players there. But if you're going to be concerned, it's by swings of big plays and bad fortune that the Redskins can avoid. Special teams, punt return for touchdown, tip pick six, dumb plays that you have to prevent.
There's a reason they're 0-5. There's a reason. And it's because they make dumb plays.
John Riggins, how are you today?
I am doing fine. Now, you know what it is with tight ends. Doc's down on the sideline. We got Cooley up here with us. It would have came out wrong. I was with Clint Didier last night. Tight ends. These guys know how to party. Let me tell you that, Larry.
You were going to say you spent the night with them.
Exactly. And I thought, I don't think I want to say that. Reword this.
John?
I saw his two sons.
Yeah.
At the card show yesterday.
Yeah, Clint's farming out there in southeastern Washington, and I hadn't seen him since I was out there doing Wriggle on the Range, and we did a little elk hunting out in his neck of the woods.
You also have your former center, Jeff Bostic, who's the honorary captain here today.
Bosco was there last night, too. Spent the night with him, too.
That's a party there,
yes,
baby. John, no Rob Kelly today. You're going to see P. Ryan carry the load. What are your thoughts on the running back situation today for the Redskins?
You know, it's something that we were talking about. I was just talking about it with Kevin down there. He's got the segment we call Who's Hot and Who's Not. And when they said, well, who's not hot? And I said, the running back position, really. And I don't know, it's a combination of things. I think that, it's one of those deals where you've seen the offense now and the way that Cousins is playing, and they really, in the passing game, they really look crisp. They're sharp. The running game has, you've seen flashes of it against the Rams, but now all of a sudden it's disappeared. And I'm thinking today is a good day for them to start being able to start making some things happen. And P. Ryan's going to get the lion's share of the carries. I know Brown is on the side. He'll be ready to come in. If P. Ryan doesn't get something going on, then I'm sure they're going to bring Brown in the game and give him some touches and see if they can ignite that. But the most important thing, I think, Larry, about the running game is for Jay Gruden not to go away from it. He's got to keep, even if they're not having a lot of success, he's still got to keep feeding the backs the ball just to keep the 49ers honest.
Sonny, what are your thoughts on that? I see
I
you
agree
shaking
with
your head
that.
over there.
Yeah, I agree with that. They got to run the football, and that sets up the boots, the play actions, and all that. It helps the passing game, and I'm sure Kirk would like to have that.
Chris, you've mentioned an offensive explosion a few times this week, and you're talking about the passing game. Why?
You've mentioned an offensive explosion, and when you talk about this game, I just have a feeling, knowing Jay Gruden a little bit, that it might not be the pure explosion that everyone expects. They might want to run the ball a little bit more tonight. Jay is a play caller that understands, I got to score 24 points to win tonight. I don't have to blow up and score 40. I don't have to we just need to outplay these guys. And so I don't know if you get a complete explosion. Now, if they make big plays, yeah, absolutely. I had turnovers, but I think Jay will be a little more conservative in terms of play calling, and not in a bad way, just in a way that he wants to pound the ball a little bit more, maybe take a couple shots, but get these guys in good situations throughout the entire game.
I think that the defense is going to have a hand in this. The way they're playing, I wouldn't be surprised if the defense scores a touchdown today, or I should say puts the ball in a position for the offense to get an easy touchdown.
John, you're right about the defense, and you got a defense here that does not have Josh Norman here today, Sonny. You got some pretty good guys coming in. Quentin Dunbar, pretty good player. Kendall Fuller, you'll see a little bit more of him. How much do you lose when you lose Josh Norman?
Well, you lose his attitude on the field, his stripping the ball on the field as he does, but you're not going to lose a lot.
Kickoff 55-plus minutes away, and after a timeout, we're going to hear from head coach Jay Gruden on Redskins Radio, and you're listening to Washington Redskins football.
Hey, who needs two?
Need two to the Redskins game?
Steve Zabin might have you covered. Join the Steve Zabin Show live at Rebellion on 18th Street in North DuPont Friday from 4 to 7. The guys will be previewing the game and giving away 2 tickets, and they just might be yours. It's all brought to you by our friends from Crown Royal. It's the Steve Zabin Show, giving away 2 tickets to the Redskins game at Rebellion on 18th Street in North DuPont Friday from 4 to 7.
And after the touchdown, the offense will go for the 2-point conversion.
Great call by the coach. He's not going to settle for an extra point. Now here's a guy who probably drives a Honda.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's fuel efficiency, amazing standard features, resale value, or great customer service, this coach demands the best.
Don't settle this football season. Get a great deal on a reliable, award-winning Honda, like the 2017 Accord, named at Car and Driver's 2017 10 Best list a record 31 times. Don't settle. See your local Honda dealer today. Car and Driver, January 2017.
Cooley and Kevin. Listen on the Redskins app.
Graham Whiteside here. You all know I love Firehouse Subs. Now you can satisfy your hunger and your wallet at Firehouse Subs with their 3 for $5 deal during Public Safety Month in October. You can get 3 or more medium subs or salads for $5 each after 5 p.m., and you can even get it delivered from participating locations. Your donation will help provide life-saving equipment to first responders and public safety organizations. The more Firehouse Subs you enjoy, the more lives they're able to help. Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
Football is here, and your DMV area Meineke Car Care Centers have a great deal to celebrate. Fans can score up to 45% off select car care services, plus $10 off oil change packages with free roadside assistance and tire rotation, starting at just $24.95. Visit Meineke.com today to schedule your appointment at any one of your 20 DMV area Meineke Car Centers. Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. Meineke, on with life.
Hi, I'm Trish Gilbert, Executive Vice President of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. We're proud to run the world's safest, most efficient aviation system. At the same time, we're collaborating with the Federal Aviation Administration and the aviation industry to modernize the system to make it even better. Air traffic controllers are using their knowledge and expertise to help develop the next generation of air traffic procedures and equipment. It's all about guiding you home safely and doing so more efficiently. Learn more online at natca.org. That's NACA.org.
At Metro, we're adding a new 7000 series car roughly every business day. That's because when it comes to improving your service, we mean business. Visit WMATA.com/back-to-good to learn just how we're getting back to good. At Metro, we've worked hard to improve our escalator performance. In fact, at 95% reliability, they're now in the best shape they've been in years. Visit WMATA.com/back-to-good to learn just how we're getting back to good.
The Morning Blitz with Al Galdi. Weekday mornings from 5 to 7.
You're you, I'm me. Oh, let's go.
Listen on the Redskins app.
This Washington Redskins broadcast is brought to you by McLean Mortgage Corporation. Lending as it should be. Innova Urgent Care, official urgent care of the Washington Redskins. Maryland Lottery. Chiniga Technical Innovations. Visit ChinigaTI.com. Brought to you by Sprint. Visit your local Sprint store and check out the all-new Galaxy Note 8. Ticketmaster, the official ticket exchange of the NFL. Brought to you by your Washington, D.C. area Honda dealers. Don't settle for less than a Honda. Finch Services, your exclusive John Deere golf and sports turf dealer. Brought to you by MGM National Harbor. You're listening to the Washington Redskins pregame show. Brought to you by Koch Industries. ChallengeAccepted.com. Here's your host, Larry Michael.
51 minutes until kickoff. Time to hear from the coach, Jay Gruden, brought to you by Metro. What started as Metro's Promise is now Metro's Progress. Find out more at WMATA.com/back2good. First question for the coach. What are you facing here against the 0-5 Niners this afternoon, Coach?
Well, they have a very talented defense. They have a very young, big, long defense. They got some guys that can run. They have very talented safety play with Jimmy Ward, and he's an excellent safety, and Tart can really hit you. And they got Reed, who's another first-round draft pick. So they have a talented group of guys, linebackers that can run. Reuben Foster was one of my favorite players in the draft. He's back healthy, so very good defense. Elvis Dumerville, one of the better pass rushers in the last 8 to 10 years. He's on their team. He comes off on third down. Lynch is a good pass rusher. So that's their defense. Talented, skill, they'll hit you, and they can run.
I'm going to ask John a question here on the heels of the coach's comment that only John's among a group of people who've experienced this. What's it like when you have a first-year head coach who used to be an offensive coordinator and you start out 0-5?
Seriously. And that to me, Larry, is what I talked about a little while ago when I was doing the pregame show with Kevin. Is that's the weird part if you believe a little bit in destiny and fate, where you kind of go, whoa. It's got a lot of those old earmarkings of when we went to Chicago back in 1981, 0-5. Of course, Chicago did not have a good football team. If I recall, their fans would put bags over their heads that they were ashamed of what they were looking at out there. So that isn't the case here. Washington's got a good football team. But, yeah, that's the one thing. It's like deja vu. Is it possible that this is where Kyle Shanahan gets his first win? I'm going to tell you what, if that were the case, to me that would be devastating, and they can't let that happen.
Question 2 for the coach. What are you concerned about when it comes to the 49ers offense, Jay Gruden?
Initially, you have to stop Carlos Hyde because, as you know with Kyle, he is really counts on the running game and then the shots off the running game. The play actions, the boots, the keeps, really get the quarterback out of the pocket, away from harm's way, and they can take their shots down the field that way. So if we can slow down the running game, that'll eliminate some of that play action shot game, forcing them into some third and longs and let our pass rushers rush.
He's still going to try to throw the ball in the play-action game. Whether or not they allow 5 yards to carry, 4 yards to carry, he's going to run the ball enough that he can still get to the play-action game. And so they just have to be alert and down in distance in situations based on looks formations where they're getting those play-action shots. That's the Shanahan M.O., is even if it's 1-2 yards to carry, you're running the ball a lot of the time to get some of those bigger looks down the field.
I would ask you, Chris, because I know you've looked at a lot of film of the 49ers. Do you think that they're going to have the ability to have success on the ground against Washington's defense?
I don't think they should have success on the ground. I think this defense has done a really nice job mixing in 5 different defensive linemen in different groupings, getting push up front. They haven't showed fatigue. And another big positive for the defense is Allen and Ioannidis, when they go into the nickel defense, the 4-2 defense, have been not a letdown, but a step up in terms of pushing the pocket. And so you can't, as an offensive coordinator, play caller, say, well, we can run it against these guys in nickel this week. So I don't think they should be able to run the football this week. I think the Redskins should do a good job penetrating.
They kept Kyle Shanahan's, Mike Shanahan's running game. All the linemen run. They all run. If you look at film of them, they just run back and forth. And that's how they're going to run the bootleg. They'll get into that type of running.
You can see the coach's show every Saturday night at 7 on NBC4. And Chris asked the coach the following question. Do you expect a big game from Kirk today, Coach?
I always expect a big game from Kirk Cousins, Chris. I mean, we never expect a lousy game from Kirk. Right. Do we, Larry?
Going into a game,
well,
you could expect 200. You could expect 14 completions.
I'm fine with throwing for 150 yards and running for 250 and eating up the clock and winning 14-10. To be honest with you, I don't really care. I think the game will dictate how we call plays, how we go after a defense. Their defense is solid, like I say. They don't play a ton of different coverages. We kind of know how we want to attack, but they're effective at how they do it. But it's going to be important for us to stay patient, stay within ourselves, and not force the ball down the field and give them interception.
You know, John, Jay Gruden thought to be pass happy. That's not what he just said, though.
No, and you know what? I think you're seeing a different head coach this year. I mean, last year, I think, in years gone by when he was calling the plays, I think that was his favorite bag to go to, was the passing bag. But now you're seeing him, he's being disciplined about it somewhat. He's making every intention to make sure he runs the ball because he knows that sets other stuff up, and it only makes Cousins that much better. But yeah, I'm like Coach Gruden. I mean, Cousins is getting to a point where you expect him to play very well every week.
Redskins just come off their bye. They've got 12 straight weeks of football to look forward to. And how does the coach prepare his team for 12 straight weeks of football down the road?
And I think it's a week-to-week question, depending on how we come out of each football game with health-wise. So, we might be more banged up than others. We'll be obviously lighter on them in practice throughout the week. If we're fortunate enough to be healthy, we can continue to work and get better and better and try to develop some of our young guys and put in our system and teach our fundamentals. But there will be times where we shorten practice down quite a bit.
So this is the Niners, speaking of who is healthy and who might be rested, this is the Niners' third straight road game coming from San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a team that's probably low on fuel.
They got to be. Traveling across country, as you all know, y'all just went to Kansas City, Rams, and you still got to go back for the Chargers and Seattle. So you know that it takes its toll on you.
Final question for the coach. How tough is it, how difficult is it to prepare for a team that is winless, a hungry team coming into FedEx Field? Here's the coach's answer.
They're talented. They have talented people on their football team. It's an NFL football team. They have football players that are well coached. They've lost 4 games out of 5 by 3 points or less, 2 overtime games, and they've played some good competition. So you just put on a tape and watch them. You can't take them for granted, whether you were 5-0 or 2-2 like we are. And for us to be 2-2 and take anybody for granted is just absurd.
All right, there you have it from Coach Gruden. Time to hear from Doc Walker on the sideline. Doc, the weather report was wrong.
Yeah.
What's the field conditions like?
You know what? This is, I'm going to say slick to a degree because of all the moisture, and I'm sure they had a tarp on it for a while. I've been waiting on the sun to come out. I believe it will. But if you're a player right now, you love it because there's no direct sun.
Any wind condition there?
No, man. Everything is really mild. It's pretty good. Right now, a little buzz out here, seeing Josh Norman, the people reacting to Josh, which is always great. Our fans down the tunnel going nuts, seeing my young guns walking by with the Master 24. So it's a good atmosphere. I haven't been able to get a pulse yet. I got to see the Bulls hit over here in the D-line, the offensive line, before I can pick that up. But, hey, guys, it's all about the excitement of what is coming up.
All right, we'll get back to Doc in a moment. A reminder, Hall of Fame-style transportation provided by Reston Limousine. Book now at restonlimo.com. Ringo's Take coming up next. It'll be Cooley's Keys. Coming up next, this is the Washington Redskins Radio Network.
When the breakdown of today's game gets hot and heavy, you want to be on top of all the big hits and turnovers. There's no better way than a home delivery subscription of the Washington Post. Right now, for a limited time, the Washington Post is available for a very special offer. Get Post home delivery on Sundays for just 79 cents a week. That's a saving of 70%, and it includes complimentary digital access. So call 1-800-999-POST today. That's 1-800-999-POST. Restrictions may apply.
Moving the chains is a challenge when you're facing a field of tough competitors. At Koch Industries, 70,000 U.S. employees challenge themselves to keep advancing each day, helping to provide greater access to clean water, renewable fuels, and other breakthroughs for food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and much more. See how Koch is maintaining forward progress at kochchallenge.com.
Finch Services Incorporated, recognized in its industry as a world-class organization, is the exclusive supplier of John Deere golf and sports turf maintenance equipment for the Mid-Atlantic region. In business since 1945, Finch helps golf course and sports turf managers maintain some of the most exclusive playing surfaces in the region. Experience the Finch advantage for yourself. Contact one of their golf and sports turf sales specialists to see how we can help you maintain your field of dreams. Or go to finchink.com for more information.
It takes 4 essential ingredients to brew Bud Light: barley, rice, water, and hops. But this is a 30-second commercial. So here's the sound of barley malting. It's super quiet. Sorry. Here's to the beer you can always count on. Brewed to be America's favorite light lager. Bud Light, famous among friends. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
What do you call windswept tropical shores where walking white powdery beaches is like walking the clouds? We call it paradise. It's exciting nightlife, gaming, world-class resorts, and a beat that never ends at Nassau Paradise Island. Call 1-800-BAHAMAS or visit Bahamas.com for great deals and packages.
At Pepsi, we think it's important to celebrate stuff in life.
Like when you text that really cute guy you met at a party on Friday, and he immediately texts you back. You celebrate with an ice-cold Pepsi.
Or your friend turns on the radio, and your absolute most favorite new song just happens to be...
Pre-game show brought to you by Coke Industries. ChallengeAccepted.com. Here's your host, Larry Michael.
Countdown kickoff continues. 40 minutes until the Redskins and the Niners square off. This will be the 32nd overall meeting between these two franchises, with the Niners holding the series edge, 20 wins, 10 losses, 1 tie. And the Niners have beaten the Redskins 4 straight. Time for Cooley's Keys, brought to you by John Leahy and the Leahy Group. Your home sold, guaranteed, or John will buy it himself. Go to johnhashomebuyers.com. Chris Cooley, the floor is yours.
I got some great keys for you this week, gentlemen. Great keys. Key number 1. Let's start the game fast. First possession's a big key. Talk all week about not having a letdown spot. Well, as a coach, script the first 15, script the first 10 to ensure that you go down the field and score. The best you can execute, the best things your guys do, go out there and do them and score on the first drive. Conversely, get a stop. That is critical. Start this game 7-0 one way or another.
Redskins have scored on their first possession the last 3 games, so hoping to see that again.
Need to see that again. Get your guys up on somebody, get them down exactly where you're supposed to be. Second key to this game, Riggo, Doc, Sonny, you got to outrun them. You got to have at least, I'm going to give you some math here, a 1-yard rushing differential in one way or another. So average yards per carry at the end of the day, you got to be more than a yard ahead of the 49ers. They average 3.5. You need 4.5. You got to outrun the 49ers. They're throwing the football right now 65% of the time. 65% of the time with Brian Hoyer. That is not a winning formula. I promise Kyle Shanahan will look to try to amend that today, understanding his tendencies, but you have to outrush them.
Based on what you've said so far, Chris, I'm wondering, do you think that Gruden is going to opt, if he wins the coin toss, to receive to start the game? Because
No.
Ask him.
He won't do it.
Ain't going to happen.
He will defer the coin toss, and he will throw a fade today, Sonny. One of the other keys to the game right now, third downs. San Francisco has been absolutely terrible. They're giving up almost 50% on defense, and they're converting only 29% on offense. Yeah. That's a difference of 17.6 percentage points. Keep them right around 15 percentage points difference. What they give up to what they get, you'll win this football game. And the last key, quickly, the Redskins just have to score touchdowns when they get in the red zone. Right now, the Redskins are really not scoring as much as they can in the red zone. They score touchdowns in the red zone, and they'll run away with it.
John, what do you think of those well-thought-out keys from Cooley?
Well, I like them, particularly the last one. I think that that's an area which really has been kind of an Achilles heel for Washington for last year and even a little bit this year. They get down, they end up not getting in the end zone, and that's something they have to do today. Other than that, I think that, everything, the rushing, I think that Washington, the advantage should be there. I would be surprised if they don't have a better day. I keep thinking that rushing game eventually, they ran the ball so well against the Rams, and then all of a sudden it kind of faded away. So today would be really a good day to really emphasize that, and I got a feeling that that's exactly what we're going to see.
We're going to the pregame show brought to you by McLean Mortgage Corporation, lending as it should be. In fact, Rigo's final take, his prediction is coming up. You're listening to Washington Redskins football.
John Riggins here. Football's my specialty, not financing a house. If you're looking for a mortgage, consider visiting my friends at McLean Mortgage. They'll take the time to lead you through the home lending process, making sure you understand and are comfortable every step of the way. So if you're purchasing a home or thinking about refinancing, get McLean Mortgage in the game and let them help you get the best loan for you and your family. Just call 866-670-2018 or visit McLeanMortgage.com. I think you'll be happy you did.
McLean Mortgage Corporation, NMLS number 99665, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This is Chris Cooley. If you want to sell your home, then you better listen up. My pal and realtor, John Leahy's a superstar. He's a top-ranked agent selling homes all over the D.C. area. He already has buyers, and he can sell your home fast and for top dollar. Leahy even guarantees that if your house doesn't sell, he will buy it at a price acceptable to you. Please do yourself a favor and put your home in the hands of a big-time pro. Call John Leahy direct at 301-651-4900, 301-651-4900, or you go to johnhashomebuyers.com, johnhashomebuyers.com.
The all-new Land Rover Discovery offers an off-road capability, an optional 7-seat layout, and plentiful storage space so you can bring your fellow explorers and their gear. After all, the best adventures are shared. Plus, you'll need someone to take the photos. Purchase the all-new Discovery HSE starting at MSRP $56,950. Price excludes admission fees, taxes, license, and other fees. Retailer price, terms, and vehicle availability may vary. Visit your local D.C. Baltimore area Land Rover retailer or call 1-800-FIND-4WD for details. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Old Virginia Tobacco announces exclusive limited edition cigar blends to honor its 45th anniversary. Developed to please both the novice and seasoned cigar smoker. Old Virginia Tobacco features walk-in climate control humidors to keep your cigar factory fresh. Choose from over 1,000 different cigars. Watch the game and enjoy your cigars in our comfortable lounges. Come in and try an Old Virginia Tobacco 45th anniversary cigar today. Visit any of our 7 locations or online at oldvirginiatobacco.com. That's oldvirginiatobacco.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cousins for Virginia Tire and Auto. Here's a deal you can't pass up. For every touchdown I throw during a regular season game, you get $2 off oil changes the following Tuesday at every Virginia Tire and Auto location. And if I rush for a touchdown, you get $5 off. It's touchdowns for markdowns at Virginia Tire and Auto. And you should get ready to save because I plan on scoring a lot. With 13 area locations, there's a Virginia Tire and Auto near you. Visit VATire.com to schedule an appointment or to find a location. That's VATire.com.
DWG, a government agency needed to prepare for the future.
County before kickoff. Redskins and Niners. Time for Rigo's Pick. His final words brought to you by PenFed. Discover the new PenFed Power Cash Rewards Visa signature card at PenFed.org. Diesel, what do you think's going to happen here today, Redskins and Niners?
First of all, we got to do something about this, Larry. Don't say my final words.
Oh.
That kind of spooked me a little bit when I heard you say that.
Your final word in the pregame show. I'm sorry.
Okay, very good. Listen, I think we're in for a treat today. I really do. I think that this is going to be one of those watershed games, I think, today, that you're going to see some, superior intelligence and firepower, kind of like what Bill Murray was doing in Caddyshack against the Gopher. These guys are poised, and you've seen them against two what we thought were pretty good football teams, and I think that Washington had a little bit of an effect on Oakland and kind of started to shift their season a little bit. They played Kansas City so well on Monday night 2 weeks ago that they should have won that game. They could have won that game. Today they're coming home here against a team that really shouldn't be on the field with them. I think they're going to show you what they've got, really, and I think this is a great prelude to what the rest of the season is. I'm hoping to see, and I think that the defense, there's going to be some turnovers today. The defense is going to turn the 49ers over. Maybe you can get a pick six or score a touchdown, give the offense a chance to get an easy touchdown. And I'm thinking maybe Crowder's going to make a big play on special teams.
I like it. John, thank you. I
My
see
pleasure.
you have a personal escort with you today.
A very pretty one, I might add. The only kind I like to travel with.
Thank you, pal.
Okay.
All right, John Riggins, the great John Riggins, the Hall of Famer. Now, Doc Walker's unique take. He's always got something different to say, no doubt about it. The Doctor, brought to you by Rosenthal Auto. Visit RosenthalAuto.com. Richard?
Well, guys, I'm over here in the bullpen. That's with the biggins, the O-line, D-line. My focus is on number 71, Youngstown, Oklahoma. And he's got a knee brace on. He's in here. I knew he would post. The question is for how long. So far, so good.
And, you take a look at the Redskins offense. We're going to hear from Vernon Davis now, who has really stepped in and done a fantastic job, a former Niner. A lot of the Niner folks talk to me about Vernon Davis, wondering how is he doing. He's doing pretty good. He's got 8 catches for 160 yards, and a season long of 69 yards, and he has just turned back Father Time. We talked to Vernon Davis earlier this week on Redskins Nation about how he's improved his game this year. Here's his comments.
Just watching guys like Jordan Reed, Jordan is spectacular when it comes to just his footwork. I mean, he's awesome. So I watch him every day, just being around him. I mean, you just feed off of it. It's infectious.
Also, we asked Vernon Davis about coming home. He's a D.C. guy. He's a D.C. native. He's a Terp, but he spent most of his career in San Francisco. He's back. He's playing great. His second year with the Redskins. What's it been like playing for his hometown team?
It's just amazing playing for a team that I grew up rooting for, which is the Washington Redskins. So I remember when I first got the call, I couldn't do anything but shed tears. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get here. I was like, wow, this is going to be a fun ride. I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm on it.
And he's got Jordan Reed, I think, healthier this week, Chris, than we've seen Jordan since the game in L.A. when he injured, what was his chest bone, sternum, clavicle, whatever it was. Jordan Reed healthier. And you know what? Vernon Davis has picked up some things from Jordan Reed, it seems.
Yeah, he has picked up some things, but they're two very different players, and it's always fun to watch styles of tight ends or styles of any player at any position, but Vernon Davis has got to be himself, and he's going to be, because no one can do what Jordan Reed does. And so you get some of the subtle nuances, but if I wanted to play like Jordan Reed, you're crazy when I was playing. I couldn't have done that. That said, Vernon is a guy that can get down the field. They have to find a way to use them both. Jordan has big games a lot of the time, and then Vernon's out there and he doesn't. And then when Jordan's gone, Vernon all of a sudden has these big. You have to use them both, and especially with the lack of productivity with Doxson and Pryor or your X and Z position, you need to pick it up with Vernon Davis.
He dropped a pass for a touchdown in preseason, right in the corner of the end zone. Since then, he's caught the ball well.
He sure has. And, you look at Jay Gruden here, it's amazing. Here's a little trivia for you, Chris, Doc, and Sonny. With the victory today, Jay Gruden will have won 24 games as a Redskin head coach, tying 2 former coaches. And I'm not going to ask you who these 2 are, because unless you read the PR notes, you don't know. Jack Pardee and Mike Shanahan won 24 games as Redskins head coaches. And Jay Gruden looking for his 24th win in the burgundy and gold. And you take a look at some of the connections here, and you look at the sideline for San Francisco. It's all former Redskins coaches. Of course, Kyle Shanahan, former Redskin coach. John Embry, was he your tight ends coach for a year?
For most of a year.
Okay, John Embry. Richard Hightower is their special teams coordinator. Bobby Turner, remember Bobby Turner?
Love Bobby Turner.
Running backs coach, he's over there. Ray Wright, the Redskins' former strength and conditioning coach. Bobby Slowick, the son of Bob Slowick, who was Mike Shanahan's right-hand man. And Mike McDaniel. All those guys were Redskins coaches. So a lot of focus on Kyle coming back to play against the coach against his former team. But Pierre Garçon, I saw him schmoozing on the Redskins sideline before the game. That was an unusual sight.
It was, but he wants to have a good game here, And I'm sure they'll come out and feed him, 6 or 7 passes early.
Countdown to kickoff continues. 27 and a half minutes until they tee it up. The Redskins and Niners. Skins looking to get to 3-2 with a Monday night date with Philly coming up next, but they can't look past this one. Final word in the Countdown to Kickoff show after this. This is the Washington Redskins Radio Network.
Just because there are no...
The final turn.
But with slow internet from the phone company?
With a sizzling Ruth's Chris steak. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. This is how it's done.
I'm Sonny Jurgensen, reminding you to get a quote today with Geico and see how much you could save. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
The official Washington Redskins pregame show, brought to you by Coke Industries. ChallengeAccepted.com. Here's your host, Larry Michael.
23 minutes until kickoff here at FedEx Field. The Redskins and Niners, and after we take our next break, we'll give you the starting lineups. And, funny this week, stunning kind of, Chris, Navarro Bowman was cut. And that, I know they tried to trade him. The thought was that Reuben Foster, their first-round pick out of Alabama, would be ready to play. But he's inactive today. It seems kind of curious.
Yeah, he's not ready to play. It is a little curious. Navarro Bowman is a long time.